What's up, guys? Crazy Black Man 108 here. Back with our Star Wars The Clone Wars episode review. Just got done sitting on my computer and watching episode 20. Season finale, could be series finale for a while. The Wrong Jedi. Oh, man. I just rewatched that final scene again just because I wanted to have the music playing while it was happening, but I've built up an emotional wall with a lot of things that happened to me during my life, so I don't cry about much anymore. Like, it's a weird thing that I'm just sharing with you guys right now. And I didn't cry at this ending, but I was like, I'm sitting here just like all the emotions are inside me, but I just can't let them out. I can't get a tear come down my face or nothing, but oh man. You know, I'm gonna go on to say that, you know, I feel like I can predict stuff that's gonna happen in Star Wars pretty well. Now, based off the previews that we originally saw for this arc ending, I was thinking it was gonna be a Saj Venture setting her up and stuff, but the more, like, after episode 2 of this arc, with the Barris and stuff, and then episode 3 of it, I hate Barris. You know, it's amazing. I absolutely hate Barris. And I was kind of mad that she was able to compete with Anakin a little bit in the fight. Oh man, but when Anakin like caught her with the Force and then threw her into the tree and then just like forced her, I was hoping Anakin would cut off a limb. I want him to cut off her arm, force push her into the tree, and then start to force choke her, kind of, and then bring her back to her and then like release her, and then it cut to the scene. But that might have caused a problem with the trial and everything. But okay, so the episode starts off with Tarkin talking about how, well, the Jedi Council can. Obi-Wan is trying his best. He's a one man. He's only one person on the council. He's like, no, we can't listen to all this. We won't listen to this dude. But they go and they give Ahsoka a trial. And you see Anakin and Ahsoka are there, and Anakin's pacing back and forth, and he's just like, he's angry. And Ahsoka said, you're not helping. He's like, I'm sorry, Snips. I haven't heard him say Snips, I think. I don't know, did he say it during the discussion they had back in episode 2 of the arc? I forget, but it was just, And then I'm going to call them like the Jedi Guardians, because they're cool. They're really cool. They have dual-bladed lightsabers. And all I'm saying to myself is, man, Anakin attacks the temple. He had to kill them. That's pretty interesting. But then too, I mean, I'm just thinking to myself that the fact that he took on Barriss Offee the way he did, I guess it was because, see, Anakin wasn't going with the intent to kill her. He was going with the intent to try and capture her. So maybe that's where you could point the difference. But man, Barriss. Let me go in order of the episode. So, the Jedi Council finds her guilty, and Anakin's mad because, this is just for formality. You guys have already made your decision, and he's mad, and Ahsoka, you could just the heartbreak in her face, the animation in this episode. I don't know what happened between episode 19, and episode 20, but episode 20 just for some reason seems so real. The animation's so crisp. So refined. It was the best the show has ever looked. Episode 20 looked amazing. You could just see the emotion in her face. It was painful, and how sad she was. And then they stripped her of like what basically was her Padawan tail, which was the bead hanging on like between her leg grooves, what they call it for the Twi'leks, but I don't know if that's it for her. Ripped it off, and it's just like, man, Anakin was in pain and stuff. And then it cuts to her in prison. In this prison, so you see clones outside talking, and Anakin comes in with Padme. Padme is gonna talk. Is gonna be on her defense for her trial from the Republic. Anakin's talking to Ahsoka more about the Ventress stuff. And Anakin says, "Well, now I only got one plan." And then Padme's like, "What? No, you need to be here now." "No, I'm gonna go out there and find out what happened." So he chases down Ventress, I did predict something wrong. Ventress didn't die. Now, see, everything with me thinking Ventress was going to die, though, I will say was based off the fact that I thought she was the one that plotted the whole thing when I first originally saw the previews that we got Celebration 5. So, Anakin finds Ventress, and basically, he gets close to killing her. I mean, he force chokes her, he's about to kill her. But, Ventress basically gives him the whole down. I'm just going just to add all these scenes together, cut short. He says everything's going on, and so the Ventress, says something to Anakin off. He said, me and your Padawan are alike, and Anakin's like, don't you ever compare yourself to her. Compare you to. And then she said, what's the difference? My masters abandoned me, my order abandoned me, just like they did her. We are exactly alike. And I was like, damn, that's kind of true. And Anakin even thought it was true. And then we cut to the scene with Ahsoka's scene with the with her trial. But then they cut back to Anakin figuring out all this stuff, and then they finally realize, wait, there was one person at the scene. No, there was one person that Ahsoka contacted besides me who this whole time she was on the run. It's like, who? Barriss, a Jedi by the name of Barriss Ophi. So then Anakin starts heading back to the temple. And Anakin's like, if you're lying, you're dead. So heads back to the temple. Ahsoka's trial. Tarkin just making me mad, giving all these things, and then he's even laughing at Padme's defense of her. And Obi-Wan is sitting up there. Obi-Wan is looking torn. I mean, Obi-Wan looks in so much just pain that he has to seem like he's one of the ones prosecuting her. Or one of the ones that, and see, the Jedi Council said, we are all, and most of us are in agreement. The person, I guarantee, at least two of them did not agree. Plo Koon and Obi-Wan, at least two. No, at least one, Obi-Wan. But if two, Obi-Wan and Plo Koon. But I kind of later. I'll get to that in a second. I'll continue on. So, basically, they reach a verdict, and they give it to Palpatine. And Palpatine's chair is like the throne room chair that he has in Return of the Jedi. And he has Imperial guards by him, royal guards too. The red suits, not the blue ones. And as soon as Palpatine's about to say it, Anakin comes in and he says, Chancellor, and then Palpatine's like, you better have a good reason for interrupting. He said, oh, I do. And he's being escorted in by two of the guards. Oh, wait a minute. Rewind that. Alright, no. Anakin goes into the temple. He goes in. I can't believe I'm about to forget this whole fight. He goes in the temple. And he goes to Barriss' room. He's about to press the button, but he kind of hesitates, but then he goes in. And when he goes in, Barriss and him start talking. Anakin saying about how she contacted someone, and Barriss saying, oh yeah, I had to leave for her, but it's like, who told you this information? She's like, Asajj Ventress. And when Anakin walked to the room, he used the Force and he pulled up Barriss' lightsaber. And Anakin was, saying different things, and then he said something. He's like, it would, no. He said, there was someone else that would appear to be the culprit, and he said there's only one way I can find out. I think that's what he said. And then he turns around and swings at her with the lightsabers, and let's say it wasn't her, he would have stopped. But he swings at her, and what did Barriss have hidden in the in an urn? She had hidden both of Ventress' lightsaber. Pull them out. And Anakin's like, you should have gotten rid of these. And then she said, I think they suit me quite well. Fight breaks out. Fighting goes out into the hallways. It's turning to a fight, clashing. Barriss ends up throwing Anakin, so when Anakin gets back, Anakin grabs her lightsaber and uses both of them out, starts swinging at her and stuff. And she gets to the point to where she kind of gets cornered. There's two guards of this hallway, two guards of that hallway. They activate those dual lightsabers. And then she's here and Anakin's here. The glass is here. She goes in and Anakin's like, Barriss, stop. Jumps outside. And then we saw, cool thing, we got to see, see, that's the other thing about this episode. Tied stuff in so well. We got to see everyone that's ever had some sort of relationship with Ahsoka. We saw the old Jedi Master that she and, not she, well, that he and Ahsoka, Ahsoka and he had gone when she lost her lightsaber. We had the scene. Then there'll be the Jedi Padawans, or not even the Padawans, the trainees, the younglings that Ahsoka, the youngling episode arc. Those people were in it. I'm saying the main people that had a relationship with Ahsoka. Even I'm not meaning excluding Lux and some of the stuff that happened on Alderaan. Alderaan. Yeah, not Alderaan, but Alderaan, whatever. This is excluding those people. And that was kind of cool. And Anakin is fighting her and fighting Barriss, and I mean Slash, everything. They're going all at it. And then Barriss gets to the point where like she ends up forced and knocking Anakin down to like the level where the younglings were at, and they were dueling. And though they were like practicing with their lightsabers, and then Barriss jumps down like the Slash, and Anakin like moves out. No, Billy blocks her, pushes her back up. I mean, it's a fight now. You know, lightsaber slashing. Anakin, I think Barriss' lightsaber got cut. And then Anakin is just using the one, grabs, her hand, and like, it was like that scene from the original Clone Wars, where Anakin was fighting Ventress, and when Ventress tried to use one of her lightsabers, he just like grabbed it and squeezed her hand until she let go. It was like the scene on the temple, on Yavin 4, and Anakin, basically the same thing happened. Anakin, except he grabbed a Ventress lightsaber and, slashed at her. This one, Anakin had grabbed, Anakin had made her drop that lightsaber, and then Barriss tried to attack him, and then when Barriss was about to get a blow that might have done Anakin any harm, Anakin, I was actually thinking Anakin might lose, like, his robot arm, or something was going to happen to Anakin. Like, he was going to lose a limb or something. I don't know why, but I was just thinking that might happen during the fight, because it was really intense. But then Anakin, like, catches her with the Force, and she knows she's done. She knows she's done there. Force pushes her right into like that tree there. I mean, and just the pain, like the sound, the pain, just everything. It was so good during that scene. And then from there, it went to it went back to what I was saying earlier, where Anakin comes in and tells stops the Chancellor and saying that we have a confession. And Barriss basically comes forward, and Ahsoka is really hurt at this. You can see in her facial expression that she's just hurt that Barriss would have done this and try to blame it all on her. And Barriss says, the Republic, she's saying that all of us Jedi should be put on trial. She's saying the Republic, we're serving, nothing but the enemy. I feel like she said something about the Sith. But she said we're serving the dark side. That's what she said. And with Palpatine, she's onto something. And Dave Filoni said that after you saw this episode, you would kind of be able to see Barriss' opinion. That's a little small bit I read off my Star Wars Insider. If y'all follow me on my Facebook page at CrazyBlackman108 or on at CrazyBlackman108 on Twitter, you have saw that I said, man, I saw this image. This episode's gonna be so emotionally jarring for me. And honestly, no, I cannot. I can maybe agree with the fact that Barriss is trying to stop, but no, I can't agree with the way she did it. I can't agree with the fact that she would blame Ahsoka for it. I cannot agree with that whatsoever. So then, though, Barriss gets basically prosecuted. The prosecution, all the allegations against Ahsoka are gone. Then this is where it gets really emotional. We cut to the Jedi Temple. And you got Plo Koon, maybe Cady Mooney there. I know Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin and Ahsoka were all there. And they're talking, and they're saying how this was the greatest trial. This was, this ended up becoming your greatest trial. You became a better Jedi than this, and you can now be appointed to the rank of a Jedi Knight, and all this stuff. And Obi-Wan was the one that just didn't. Obi-Wan didn't say anything during this scene, and Anakin said, "Yep, I think he said you see Snips, the Order wants you back. I want you back." And he holds out his hand, and he has acted as her braid. And this scene, when I first watched it, felt like forever. And the music, that's the other great thing about the music is so great. It feels like Star Wars. And Ahsoka was just like, no, she said no. It's like she closed his hand and said, no, and then she turned around and left, and there was the emotional pain in Anakin's face and her face, and even Obi-Wan's a bit as she leaves, and Anakin's just standing there kind of looking down, and then he goes after her. Obi-Wan was about to go too, but then I can't remember if it was Mace or Yoda that stopped him, and Yoda's face just kind of his eyes droop, and never did I think I could be mad at Yoda, but I was mad at you. I'm kind of mad at Yoda. I know someone, Danny, who hates the Clone Wars is gonna be mad at me for that, for saying I hate Yoda, but I only hate Yoda in this one. So I don't hate Yoda on all our character, but I couldn't stand him during this part because it was such BS. I just couldn't believe that Yoda. like the prequels, I'm gonna say make Yoda seem so like make him seem unwise. I don't know if he gained something like those other 20 years, but it makes him seem almost unwise that he would let all this transpire. But anyway, so it shows Ahsoka leaving, and it's playing like the music. It sounds basically the same as if you saw episode 3 at the end, where it's like dun 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 dun. It's playing basically that same type of melody, and Anakin is talking to Ahsoka, and Anakin's like, Ahsoka, you're making a mistake, and it's a really interesting pair when you think about the fact that Anakin, you're gonna leave the Order, you're gonna become a Sith Lord, you're gonna become Darth Vader. I mean, it's just interesting when you think about it. Like, it's crazy when I see him like that, because then I'm saying to myself, man, this guy had all the right thoughts in his head, but didn't listen to none of it. He didn't take his own advice. But then again, maybe some other stuff will transpire, but Anakin, Maul's gonna kill Ahsoka still. I still think so. I don't know. Anakin's saying, like, you're making a mistake. And she's saying that I can't be here now. She said the council couldn't trust me. How can I trust myself? She said, I can't be here anymore right now. You know, and Anakin said, you know, then Anakin like kind of turns away. I mean, the animation made this scene so much more poignant, so much more emotionally jarring. It was crazy. And she's saying that, you know, I can't come back right now because of the fact that, I mean, just I need to do some sort of, I need to go and look, I need to figure some stuff out. And I don't think she's coming back to the Order at all. At least not yet. But she had to do some thinking. And then Anakin goes on to say that, you know, Ahsoka, I know exactly how you feel. I want to leave the Order. I mean, I know exactly how I feel. And that's, I think, a reference to the Padme and some of the stuff he disagrees with. And like how he wants to be married to Padme and all that other stuff, even though he is technically married to her. And then Ahsoka says, I know. And then Anakin's like, she knows? And I don't think I've ever said this on this account, but I've said this to like some friends. I think Ahsoka has known about Anakin's relationship with Padme for a good while. So Ahsoka says, you know, I know. And then I can't remember if there's a couple other words, but this is that final scene that no one else had heard in the whole cast but the two of them. And so Ahsoka walks off, and the music. I mean, y'all heard the music. Like, I'm gonna play it just like that final scene just a little bit so you can hear the rest of it. Like, well, this last couple lines here.
But I have to sort this out on my own, without the council.
Without you.
Without you.
That was the other thing that I think too was slightly painful for Anakin.
I understand.
But
more than you realize, I understand wanting to walk away from the Order.
I know.
I'm not gonna show it 'cause I don't want to get copyrighted, just in case. This could get me copyrighted, but. And like I said, the animation was just so good. And Ahsoka's like basically she's tearing up right there. She's about to cry. And this scene that I saw in my Star Wars Insider was this last scene you see, and it's her as she's walking down the stairs, leaving. And the thing that made this episode end so differently from any of the other ones, it faded to black. It faded to black. The credits rolled in. It wasn't the Clone Wars like normal like music. It was a sad episode. Season 6, however we're gonna see it, whenever we're gonna see it, I don't know. Like this thing right here. If you wanted to make a Clone Wars movie, I would love to see this whole arc in a movie setting. On a big screen, in a just. It was sad. It was really sad. And I mean, I haven't been home since 8 o'clock. That's when I had the basketball game. I had this program I'm involved with. And I got home and I decided to sit down and watch this episode. I was going to take a shower. I was going to think about it for a while. But, I mean, I don't think anything was better than giving my thoughts like this right now of how like emotionally painful this episode was. I've talked for about a good 20 minutes about this. I've given a whole summary of the whole episode. And I might as well, because this is the final one. I'll give a discussion about Season 6 maybe for tomorrow, because now I'm just like, man, I'm going to go read that article. I'm going to watch the commentary tomorrow. You all will hear from me soon about Star Wars or Clone Wars, about other Star Wars stuff, the music and everything. This episode was just perfect, guys. This is Crazy Black 108 saying, may the Force be with you all. We're heading into a dark time with Star Wars and some people's opinion, and into a broader time with other people. We got the sequel trilogy, some people like, some people don't like. We got the Clone Wars possibly ending, and this is the ending. I will say this: if this had to be the ending, I wouldn't mind it too much, except for the fact that we still don't know what happens to Ahsoka. But if this was the ending, it's semi-fitting. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for. I hope everyone that's seen these has enjoyed these. I'm gonna try to get these out to more audience. I would like to. Please, everyone, follow me on Facebook, Crazy Black Man 108. Follow me on Twitter, Craze Black Man 108. Take off the Y with crazy, because Twitter didn't let me fit it with the spaces, I guess. Man, crazy episode. Thank you guys. Really hope you all enjoyed it. And the Force be with you.